When it comes to getting a new deal, Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson has tried everything. But after listening to his stunning remarks to reporters this week, something occurred to me. If he takes a stand and skips training camp, Trey Hendrickson is on a collision course to become Haason Reddick 2.0, a cautionary tale in shoulder pads. But here's the twist. This isn't just about money. This is about ego, leverage, control. And it might just blow up the Bengals' entire 2025 season before it even begins. Welcome to the drama brewing in Cincinnati, a slow-burning fire that the front office is pretending doesn't exist. This is the story of Trey Hendrickson, a top-tier pass rusher caught in a battle not just against his own franchise, but against a deeply embedded culture of cheapness, denial, and pure arrogance. You want the truth? The Bengals aren't just refusing to pay him. They're daring him to walk. Chapter 1, the standoff no one saw coming. Trey Hendrickson isn't some no-name trying to make noise. This is a two-time Pro Bowler, a man who logged double-digit sacks in 3 straight seasons. The kind of player that most franchises would kill to lock up long-term. But in Cincinnati, he's viewed as just another number on the spreadsheet. He's set to earn $16 million this year, and that sounds great until you realize he's outperformed every dollar of his contract. He's logged 39.5 sacks in 3 years. You think that's easy to replace? Not in this league. Not even close. But here's where it gets twisted. Hendrickson knows he's outplayed the deal. And guess what? The Bengals know it too. They just don't care. Chapter 2, the Bengals billionaire mindset. If there's one franchise that treats Super Bowl contention like a luxury expense, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. While teams like the Chiefs and Eagles pull every financial lever to stay in the hunt, the Bengals are stuck in 1982, hoarding cash like it's gold bullion during an apocalypse. Mike Brown, the notoriously frugal owner, has built an empire of good enough football. He'll pay when cornered. Not a second before, not a cent over. You want to raise, Trey? Here's the calculator. Figure out what holding out will cost you. That's the vibe in the building. To the Bengals, every day Hendrickson holds out is a win. They don't just tolerate it, they profit from it. Chapter 3, the power play that backfired. Back in April, Hendrickson and his camp made a calculated move. Asked for permission to seek a trade. A bold public shot across the bow. Cincinnati said go ahead. And then nothing. Silence. No team bid. Why? Because to get Hendrickson, you'd not only need to pay the Bengals something valuable, but you'd also have to meet Trey's massive contract demands. Double jeopardy. Teams looked at the price tag, the draft pick compensation, and they passed. Which means now, Hendrickson is stuck. No trade, no raise, no leverage. Chapter 4, the Haason Reddick blueprint. What Hendrickson is doing mirrors what Haason Reddick did last year in Philly. Reddick, another elite edge rusher, skipped voluntary workouts, flexed publicly, and held firm. And what did it get him? A minor restructure, a few million extra dollars. But it came only after he blinked. Now he's with the Jets, on a short leash and still chasing long-term security. Hendrickson is staring at the same script. The difference? The Bengals won't even offer the courtesy tweak. They'll let him sit. They'll let him sulk. And they'll happily pocket the fines. Chapter 5, Zac Taylor and the text message that said it all. Let's talk about one of the most revealing moments of this drama. A single text message from head coach Zac Taylor. When Hendrickson skipped mandatory minicamp, Taylor didn't plead. He didn't beg. He texted him, "This is mandatory. There will be fines." That's it. Cold, calculated, corporate. And Hendrickson, visibly frustrated, let it slip. He's already doing the math. He's calculating the hit per day, per week, per game. And here's where it gets brutal. If he misses a single regular season game, he loses 8 per week. Can he really stomach that? Because the Bengals can. Chapter 6, the culture of control in Cincinnati. Here's the hard truth no one in the Bengals locker room will say out loud. This team punishes players who speak up. They don't reward ambition. They crush it. This is a franchise that operates on quiet compliance. The players who get ahead here are the ones who keep their heads down, say yes sir, and never cause waves. Joe Burrow has been the exception, but even he had to wait for his money, and even now he watches teammates like T. Higgins and Hendrickson get stonewalled. The message from ownership is clear. You're not bigger than the brand. Chapter 7, the locker room fallout. Let's not pretend the locker room isn't watching all this unfold. You think guys like DJ Reader, Cam Taylor, Britt, or Jamar Chase aren't paying attention. They see one of their defensive leaders getting publicly humiliated, forced to beg for a raise like he's out of line. It's not just about Hendrickson. It's about setting a precedent. If they can do this to him, what happens when it's your turn? Chapter 8, what comes next? So what does Trey Hendrickson do now? Here are his options, and none of them are pretty. Option 1, take the $16 million play ball and walk in 2026 as a free agent if they don't franchise tag him. Option 2, accept the Bengals' rumored offer of $28 million per year, assuming that offer is even still on the table. Option 3, hold out of training camp, rack up $50,000 per day fines, and pray the team caves. Spoiler, they won't. Every path leads to pain. But make no mistake, the Bengals are willing to play chicken all the way to the cliff's edge. Chapter 9, a message to Trey Hendrickson. Trey, if you're watching this, here's the realest advice you'll get. You are not wrong to fight for what you've earned. You've carried this defense for 3 years while the franchise pinched pennies and milked your production dry. But this franchise doesn't reward loyalty. They punish disruption. They don't want players with a voice. They want soldiers, cheap, obedient, and replaceable. Chapter 10, why this could destroy the Bengals season. Let's step back and ask the most important question of all. What does all this mean for the 2025 Bengals? Let's say Hendrickson holds out through training camp. That means he's out of rhythm, out of shape, and behind mentally. Let's say he shows up late. That fractures the locker room, sends a message that leadership is fractured. And worst case scenario, he actually stays out into the regular season. That's the nightmare no one wants to talk about, because this defense needs Hendrickson. No other pass rusher on the roster comes close to his impact. Without him, the pressure drops. The secondary gets exposed. Burrow has to play shootouts every week. The Bengals go from contenders to chaos. Final chapter, the dysfunction is the point. Here's the ultimate truth about the Cincinnati Bengals. This isn't a bug, it's the feature. The refusal to spend. The cold treatment of players. The obsession with control. It's not new. It's not accidental. It's generational. The dysfunction is the strategy. And in Trey Hendrickson, they've found a perfect test case. A star player with just enough pride to fight back, but not enough leverage to win. The Bengals are betting that Hendrickson will fold. That he'll count the dollars, swallow his pride, and show up anyway. And they might be right. But if they're wrong, they'll lose more than a pass rusher. They'll lose trust, unity, momentum, and maybe their shot at a Super Bowl. This isn't just a contract dispute. It's a war over who controls the future of this team. And right now, the Bengals are willing to burn it all down just to win the battle.